As you're walking down the street, look around. How many people are part of one largest demographics facing the most expansive extent of social oppression? Is it Hispanics? African Americans? No, but these people are still part of it. In fact, this demographic makes up half of the entire population, that is, women. When women make up half of the global population, they face the largest extent of oppression globally by lawmakers, family, and all of history. They face oppression by the loudest aggressions, blatant attacks, to as quiet as the privacy of a doctor's office. And sexism in medicine continues to put women at risk. Yet, our biggest threat is silence. Today, these women will be given a voice for their stories, who will each give a testimony to how the integrity of science and medicine is being threatened by deep-rooted sexism. And by giving light to these stories, we hope others will join in. Because without quality of science, humanity will be stuck in illusion.
Ms. Rademacher. I currently teach our 9th grade sciences, so I teach honors Earth and Environmental Science and Earth and Environmental Science. I've also taught chemistry and biotech here at Ponderosa. I've been here, I think now 10 years. Before I was at Ponderosa, I worked with the Arizona Department of Health, and I was a communicable disease investigator.
All right, I'm Mrs. Wade. I teach science and student council at Ponderosa High School. Before I started teaching science, I worked as a veterinary technician and taught adults in the hospital setting.
You?
Hi, I'm Miss Roberts. I teach biology and I've taught chemistry before here at Ponderosa. Before I was a teacher, I was actually working in a lab. So I got my degree in biology and then I started working in a lab for materials science. So I worked in an ophthalmology lab where we were making intraocular lenses for people who have cataracts, and then I started working in a dental laboratory as well, where we were making like the composite fillings that you have in your teeth.
Hi, my name is Nikki Sims Taylor. I am the school nurse consultant at Ponderosa High School. I've been a registered nurse for over 30 years, and I received my BSN from Ball State University in Muncie, Indiana.
Hi, I'm Nelia Harrington.
Throughout your life, has being a woman impacted your experience in the science field in any way?
I have been fortunate and not seen that impact my path, but I know that it has impacted others. But fortunately, I have not seen that in mine specifically.
Have any specific memories stuck from like people around you?
I don't know if I have any specific for mine. Like I have lots of different stories and historical pieces that I've read and whatnot. It definitely is a smaller field for women. And so when we're looking at some of those percentages, so if I can use my son's as an example, he went to School of Mines, which is an engineering science school, and the percentages are very not equal for female and male, and they're getting better, but that's an interesting snapshot. I think if we look at very specific engineering science schools, that the inequality in male versus female applicants.
Throughout your life, has being a woman impacted your experience in the science field in any way?
Yes, so I would say I've been really lucky. My family was always very, very, very supportive of me, so I don't think I saw the impact as much as some other people. I was also very fortunate that the first lab that I worked in after I graduated college was very unique in that my boss, my primary investigator, was a woman, as well as the postdoctoral student we had was a woman, and then there was me as well. So out of our 4-person team, we had 3 women. So we were very lucky, but we did see in other labs around us. And then when we moved to the dental school, it was very different. There were not nearly as many women in the field, and I've seen it changing, but that's actually one of the reasons I got into teaching, is to kind of make a difference and make girls feel like we can do science, because we absolutely can.
Perfect. Throughout your life, has being a woman impacted your experience in the science field anyway?
So being here at Ponderosa and teaching science in the levels of science that I teach, for example, I've taught chemistry most of my time here. I never felt like anyone questioned my knowledge because I am a woman here, because chemistry is very difficult and it's a rigorous class. And so I've felt pretty supported in those regards. I know that I've had some coworkers during my time here whom I felt like I had to prove myself and my knowledge base, and I did feel like it was because I, number one, was younger than them, and number two, I'm a female.
Throughout your life, has being a woman impacted your experience in the science field in any way?
Yes. I think going into nursing is typically a female-dominated field or career path. And I think there's some stigma around that's an acceptable role for a woman to go into, acceptable job. So there was definitely that, and I actually resisted being a nurse for a long time. That wasn't my initial career path because I didn't want to do something that was typical for a woman. But I got into the medical field by becoming an emergency medical technician, and that really perked my interest in the medical field. So then I pursued nursing.
But before they're scientists, these women are people, and being a woman should not factor into the quality of your healthcare or your life.
At any point where you have required healthcare, have you experienced a bias against you based on your sex?
Yes, so back in 2003, 2004 time frame, I was like 20 years old at the time, and I had to go to my OBGYN because I was experiencing really sharp pain in my reproductive area that I've never felt before. So it was a same day appointment. It was just whoever doctor was available that day. So I didn't get a choice whether to see my female doctor that I usually do, so I had to see a male doctor in order to help me through this pain I was going through. So I went to the appointment, got into the exam room. They have you change into a gown, and so they can perform a pelvic exam. So during the pelvic exam, that's when the doctor puts his fingers up in your uterus to feel around your uterus and your ovaries. And so during that time he was feeling around my uterus, he made a comment like, I don't know why you women feel like this is uncomfortable when I know you like this. And there was a female nurse with him in the exam room, and she didn't say anything, but she had this concerned look on her face. And then I didn't feel comfortable with him making that comment, and I didn't know how to respond because I just froze.
Studies as recent as 2021 have revealed that 29% of women had reported experiences in which their concerns were dismissed by medical professionals. 19% reported feeling like they were treated differently based on their gender alone. And those are the ones who answered the survey. The real threat comes when biases go entirely unnoticed, when women say nothing because they believe that this experience is normal. A United Nations global report found that close to 90% of all people have some form of gender bias against women, including women themselves. What does this mean? Will it infiltrate our sciences, our healthcare, or our quality of life? In just a single high school, 4 women have a story to tell. How many women have similar stories that will never be heard? In one town, in one country, in the entire world? The most violent weapon against women is silence. So next time you're walking down the street, think, why is it so quiet?